Zordon, making them Rangers, and then them doing their
Mhm.
first battle, and then just cut and just say it like 2 years later. So this brings us to our last topic: is like, what could a movie look like? And I think this is what we're planning to spend the most time on. And I actually haven't watched. I think you uploaded a video like 20 minutes before we went on, but not to spoil
Yeah.
anything. What do you think a Power Rangers movie should look like?
Ooh, what do I think it should look like? Well, hopefully it looks good. A good ride. It's so hard to say how the suit designs will come out because you've got the Toku J artwork here, which looks amazing.
Right.
I would love it if the artwork or the suits came out like this.
Do you let's go more? Let's go to a more basic question. Do you think it should be Mighty Morphin?
I feel I can't say no, but despite how many times I say no, it's going to be Mighty Morphin based because
Right.
that's the season that has the nostalgia, that has the pull. That's what everyone remembers. So no doubt about it.
Okay. Now, would you go bio armor again, or would you go something more practical, like these suits, or something, or maybe more just like armor?
I feel like an in between, like maybe have the Iron Man armor without that is bio armor, but something sort of like Iron Man's armor in like Endgame or something like that. But
Okay.
I guess it's
Like
bio
sleeker.
armor. Yeah, sleeker. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Fast and Furious and Guardians of 2. The 2017 movie was released around the same time of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That tracks.
And
It's
Logan,
funny how long ago that was now.
Yeah.
Sounds like I need to catch up on the comics. The cast was fired. The writing was shit. The writing wasn't that bad. Actually, the writing wasn't bad at all. But I think the big issue with the writing was that it was dependent on there being a second movie, and there was never a second movie.
No, and it did set up for a second movie.
And it's having the issue right now that Power Rangers Prime is having. There's no Power Rangers, and there was no Power Rangers in the first hour and a half of that movie, and there's no Power Rangers in issue 1 or 2. That's hideous. At least the Goldar were used to lovable and creepy. I although like lovable Goldar is funny, I loved Goldar when he was a menace. Like when he was an issue.
No, absolutely.
Like when he used to get big and like almost hand it to them. Like, yeah. Do you guys think it was a good idea for Hasbro to hand over the Power Rangers brand to Paramount Plus? Yes. But they're not handing over the brand. So I want to be clear. Like what we're hearing the deal may be is that Paramount is going to own the media rights. Or not own I take that right. They're going to be licensed the media rights. So basically Hasbro is going to sell them the right to be able to make movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. So Hasbro will. I don't think Hasbro will ever sell Power Rangers. There's no upside to them selling Power Rangers. They overbought it, and they overpaid for it, and it hasn't gotten back its returns. And they can make money by just licensing it out to, like we're seeing, like that with Super 7. We're seeing Playmates, like all these different deals. What Hasbro wants to become is an IP library. They want to own IPs and then sell the right to use those IPs to other people while they invest all their money, and then they just give them a percentage of the profits. So they literally have to do nothing. Yeah. That's what they want to do. It's like, I don't even know, like maybe it's like a landlord that owns a bunch of rental houses. That's the best way to put it. Do you hold on, bio armor like Guyver? I would love to see a Guyver reboot or like a live action. Like, yes, I loved Guyver. Did you ever watch Guyver?
I watched the anime a while ago because someone recommended it to me, but I've not seen like the live action Guyver.
They're interesting watches. They're fun watches though.
Yeah.
I still like watching the clips of the 95 movie and I'm from Sydney where it's shot. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Time for a double whammy. You ooze, you lose. Can we just get an extended turbo movie cut? Apparently it exists. Like Kat and Nakia talk about it everywhere they go. So I think I've heard the extended movie cut stories like 17 times already. It's somewhere out there.
It's in a vault somewhere.
Yeah. Smile 2 was pretty good. I saw most of Smile 2. We need to finish it. A lot of people know I can only watch movies like at an hour at a time because it's either during nap time or it's like at the end of the night and we're like done and we can only commit a little bit of time to a movie. So we still need to finish it.
Oh no, I'm like that. I tried watching Squid Game season 2. I watched the first episode. It's like a 60-minute episode, and it felt like it went longer than that. But plus, I'm trying to read the subtitles on a big screen, and
Right.
because it's not like when you watch Sentai or like Kamen Rider, where talking, fighting for a little bit.
Right.
Just like I have to pay like big attention to the dialogue in Squid Games, but not only that, like pay attention to these like Korean names that are hard to keep track of. Yeah.
It's fun. So I haven't watched a Sentai since Dai or I watched Kaku Ranger. But so I haven't seen any like Boom Boom Ranger or Don Brothers or all this
Okay.
other stuff. I'm gonna try to watch
Gojuja.
Gojuger. I'm gonna try it. It's gonna happen. I did watch a little bit of Gokaiger, but that's because I had to do a panel with Ryoto Ozawa. So I
Oh,
wanted to
nice.
at least like be on stage with him and say that I've seen a little bit that he's done. So
Mhm.
I did do a little bit of it, but I'm gonna commit some time to this year to watching Sentai. We'll see how long it goes. Hopefully, um, it works out. I've only done one video so far. I think you've been covering it pretty
Yeah,
deep.
yeah.
Honestly, I would love to see armored Power Rangers. I would too. Now, I think I know you said you like Iron Man, but I don't know if I would want Iron Man. I think I would want. I think the Prime is a good example of things that I think that would do well.
Mhm.
Something along those lines. Um, Not necessarily armored, but sort of looks armored, right? Like it looks
Mhm.
armored through its fabric. I think there's a
Yeah.
way to do that. It depends how much budget they're going to put into it, right? So like if they're gonna, I think it's gonna be hard because you're gonna spend a lot of money on Megazord. You're gonna spend a lot of
Mhm.
money on monsters and putties and whatever the little foot soldier is gonna be. So
Mhm.
the suits, I think, are where it's gonna suffer a little bit because you also have the Morphe sequences they have to do the Morphe sequences. That's one thing
Yeah.
they need to learn from the
Mhm.
2017 is to do a more
Absolutely.
to sell those more for toys and not make them look like weird rocks.
Yeah.
So I think how would I go? I think Tokuji is a good example. I think there was another one. I think it was what's that other one? Zordy Art. Zordy Art
Zodiac.
does some good ones.
They're
Let me
AI, but yeah.
they're AI, but like I know guys, I'm not gonna like go big into the AI thing, but AI is being used. You can't help it.
No.
Uh
No, I'm not 100% against AI. Like I use AI for Photoshop because like I can't crop around stuff. So AI can do it for me and I just fix up whatever it overcropped.
I don't
Um,
use AI because I refuse to pay for stuff. Actually, I just paid for one for the first time ever for a photo editor that
mhm,
cost $35 for a year subscription that I refused to pay for the last 3 years I've had this channel. And then I just was like, I'm tired of like taking out
mhm.
their watermark and all this other stuff. So I just bought because I'm that cheap.
No, I've known people who don't want to pay for Adobe or
Right.
Sony Vegas. I'm cool with Geekdom 101, and he's got an editor, but when there's stuff that he has to do himself, he's used like a free video editing software.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think here's a good example, although it's not Mighty Morphin, of kind of like how you could do a little bit of armor. Like so, like there's like we have the Ashley chest piece right here. I think that's cool. Although I think that's like
Oh, that does look cool.
a fan version of it. Although this is a custom, but like here's another way that you could do it. It doesn't it kind of intricates a little bit the armor. You see, got the arms right here. Obviously, this is the dragon
Mhm,
shield. There's ways like around making it too Iron Man-y, but at the same time, but still like Power Rangers-y, I think is the best way to put it. I'm trying
mhm.
to, he has some really cool ones over here with the Phantom Ranger, the Turbo Ranger ones. I think he takes them down from time to time. I'm trying to think of someone else that does Power Rangers. Oh, like he did these ones at one point. Here we go. So you kind of get some ideas right here. Although I
Yeah.
don't know if I like this whole like tubing thing. I think the Pink Ranger is kind of a good one. The
Mhm,
Trini one here is good too. Let's see. These helmets are spot on. I love these helmets, especially the Black Ranger one here with the coin. I think that one looks
mhm.
really good. Let's see. Oh, we got Sky. Okay, but like, I think there's ways to go around it without having to commit to like so much armor, but at the same time, kind of like honoring the spandexy of the brand, you know, at the same time. So looking at some of the comments here, MMPR reboot, please. And it's more than likely going to be that. I think, how's it even for a debate? Of course it's MMPR. How about armor that Tony gave Spider-Man? Like the Iron Spider? Yeah.
That is sleek looking, like when you have the big spider arms coming out.
Right. And it's chromy and it's shiny. I love shiny. You can't, anything that's shiny, I'll buy. Gen Zs in the fandom who aren't sentimentally attached to the understanding hierarchy when other seasons has gotten ridiculous. I don't think it's gotten ridiculous. I think people just want to see different things. But the thing with Gen Z is that Gen Z grew up on a different era. So, but the problem with Gen Z Power Ranger fans is there's not a lot of them. So compared to what, like, you know, the millennials, like me. So my only word is an over reliance on MMPR. Could we possibly move past MMPR and still make sense? That's a good question. What do you think about that, Taxi?
I think you can probably do move past MMPR. Like you can probably say like there's an established team that came before you guys, and I think I think that's what some of the leaks and rumors or alleged leaks and rumors were saying, that like MMPR would have been an established universe where they came after it.
Right. I think there's like MMPR, I think is always gonna be the focus, but like there's an opportunity here to like bring in like Time Force or SPD, like, you know, a message from the future or something. You know what I mean? Which they were trying to do. Remember that very first iteration of the movie that was going to be like a current team was going to go back to the past to try to help the Mighty Morphin team.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
like I can see a situation like that, and I think who's doing Unworthy is doing like a version of that with the white SPD Ranger. I forget the name that he calls it, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Quantum. No, it's like a Quantum Ranger, but it's White Ranger.
No, Omega Ranger SPD. Parent Shattered Past, I think it is, from Nerdbot, I think.
No, what? I thought it was Unworthy. I thought it was Unworthy.
I know it's the joint universe they've got.
Right. It's all, yeah, they all connect to them.
I think
it's Unworthy, I'm pretty sure.
Stuff, yeah.
Maybe it is Colin stuff. Now, do you think it would be a possibility for Paramount Plus to do a Power Rangers movie with Lord Zed play in robot form like we've seen Rita Repulsa? Oh, like Robo Rita?
Nah, you gotta make Zed fleshy and scary.
Yeah. Back to scary. The movie should start with the OG5 already being Rangers and dealing with the evil Green Ranger. Second movie could do White Ranger, third Zeo. So I could do a movie. I think if they were to do something like a pre-established, and I know you saw the beginning of Batman v Superman, but you know how they spent the first 5 minutes showing their Batman's version of how he became Batman with like the crime alley and stuff like that, and do a 5-minute version of like, you know, Zordon making them Rangers and then them doing their first battle, and then just cut and just say it like 2 years later. Like I think that could be a way to do it. I don't know. What are you thinking about? How would you start a Power Rangers movie?
I feel like that could work. Like you can maybe do like a quick flash cut of like them getting their powers and then like defeating Rita, like Doomsday or something like that. But then again, like a lot of us know how the Power Rangers started. Like, do we need to do like Crime Alley again for Power Rangers? Or
we've done it 30 times, like literally,
and because it's a pretty like formula that everyone knows where they get their powers, they fight and save the day. I feel like you don't need to establish like them getting their powers and morphing for the first time.
Right. I think you're right. I think that would be that might be smart. That might be a smart way to do it. We shouldn't be giving them all our answers right now. Black Panther in the style of suits they should aim. Oh, you know how he does with the vibranium and the That's an idea. That's a really good idea. I like that actually, because he could still remove the helmet and everything too, like he did in the movie. They're onto something here. I like that. I only take opinions from Gen 1 fans. No, everyone's opinions matter. Just some more than others, like me and Deoxys. Never mind, just joking. No, I'm not. They should do a reboot, but not another NPR. The name Power Rangers will be enough, in my opinion. Just do with a completely new team. So like I think that Power Rangers Prime is an example of how you could do that.
Yeah.
You got to morph quicker. You got to morph
Mhm.
in the first 20 minutes
Yeah.
and get going. Like I think that was the issue with the first movie. And not being Mighty Morphin, but it sort of looks like it. Like I think you could do that, but it's gotta sort of look like it. I think that's how
Mhm.
you sell. Now you get this to evolve, right? Like you get the first movie successful, you support it, you buy the toys, you show that you like this movie, you get a second movie, right? Like
Mhm.
that's the thing, and that's how Power Rangers influencers have been trying to help the brand, right? We've been trying to
Yep.
push it forward. Is like we support the brand even when we don't like it. You know what I mean? But like,
Mhm.
so like saying I'm covering Power Rangers Prime, even though right now I don't necessarily like it, but I'm telling you about it, but I'm putting it out the media and it helps support the brand. It's
Mhm.
more than you see on your feed. So that yeah, there's that you want more, you support the brand. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm being cautiously optimistic, would prefer the TV show continue to adapt Super Sentai, but I'm biased. Okay, this is a big topic. What do you think about them on Super Sentai?
Geez, I'm gonna feel like Simon Bet when he said it. I feel like we like one for one Sentai adaptations aren't always needed. I feel like they can do what maybe Cosmic Fury did, just you can adapt like the Zord footage or something like that. Like I know people want to see the suits fine, but when people say adapt the Sentai, do they mean adapt a one for one like Samurai? Do they want to see the suits brought to the US
Right.
or the Zords? Like it's kind of like not a hard thing to work around, but like what counts as a good adaptation for people? Because I know that if people want to see their favorite like Super Sentai season adapted, then those same people complain that they didn't adapt it the way they wanted it because it's
Right.
very different.
Right.
Um, so
I
I don't know.
I think a lot of the issue too is cultural issues.
Yeah.
So like as Power Rangers is really meant for an American audience, right? So
Mhm.
that is its primary base. And I know we all watch it around the world, but its primary audience and its primary source of income and profit is from the United States.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of Japanese humor and other things that there's done in Super Sentai that doesn't always translate to America very well. Good example is Kiba Ranger and Die Ranger. That
Yep.
is complete perv. Like, and there
Mhm.
you could have never done that in a
No.
TV show here in the States at that, especially in the
No.
90s. Like, not like no. So there's other things like that. I
Cultural things like samurai or even like what was I trying to think? Like even like the Thunderzords where they're based on Chinese mythology,
right,
or even not ignoring like the Japanese roots or something like that with Ninja Steel, where they're just like American ninjas, where Ninja leans heavily on Japanese mythology and that culture.
so
So,
it's hard adapting the stories from Super
mhm,
Sentai to America right off the bat.
mhm.
Then you get to like some of the suits and some of the things that are popular right now in Japan would never be popular in the United States.
No,
Like what's the Don Brothers? Like no, that would never work. I think Kira Major would barely work. Like or was it Kira Major? Yeah, the one with
Kiramachi.
the gems that would
Yep.
that would barely work. I think although I do think like King-Ohger that look what may have worked here. I do think I can't even Gojuger might work here, but
Mhm.
there's a lot like
Boon
they didn't.
Boonja maybe, because that's just cars.
Which one?
Boon Boonja, the one with the helmet tire heads.
Man, those look so weird though.
And that's the thing, like not everyone's on board with those suits. Like there was a huge divide
Right,
amongst the fandom when these were first leaked and revealed and stuff like that.
right,
It's the basic concept is cars, which is very American or very
right.
not American. Um, Cars translates to most places around the world, so that's a somewhat easy thing to adapt. But then
And
again,
then
not
again,
everyone
they
likes
skipped what is the trade one that they skipped here in America?
Tokuja.
Yeah, they well obviously they're putting the train in some suggestible positions and the Megazord, but
It's just
besides
that one.
that,
It's
right?
just that
Like
one clip.
just that, but that's all I remember from that
Yeah.
season. Like I never watched it. I just know that one scene happened. But yeah, like different things don't aren't like trains are super popular in Japan, right?
Yeah. I was going to get to that as well.
Not here. They're not.
There's a culture around it in Japan.
Now here's the second issue. Hasbro does not want to rely on another company to make their brand successful. Like they don't want to rely on Toei, on Super Sentai, or any of that, or anyone else for something that they paid for to do themselves. So I think that's the issue with why they wanted to end the original show, because it was supposed to end sooner, right? It was supposed to end after Dino Fury. It was supposed to end. Cosmic Fury was an accident. So
yeah.
We can talk about that another day. But in any event, they want to stop relying on another company on how to use something that they own, and they don't want to do that. And from a business point, I understand that. The thing is, you're going to have to be the first one to figure it out, because no one's done it before, and that's the issue. Someone banished someone to the dark dimension. I'm not sure why. Bon Bernardo. Oh yeah, he does a lot of amazing. He does like comic art now. Yeah,
he does the comic covers. He does the variants.
Yeah, he does amazing stuff. Here's hoping we have something solid happening with the franchise before Power Morphicon 2026. That would be amazing. Apparently, there's some Morphicon Express happening somewhere. I've heard rumors of where it might be, but I can't say it out loud. So there you go. Okay. If we go with NPR storyline, how many films do you want to tell that story?
7, like Savannah originally wanted.
2.5. 2.5.
Yeah, 2's fine.
2.5, and the half that movie they upgrade to the new one. I think
if it makes some money, it'll be like the Sonic movies. We've already got a 4th one announced, like a week after it dropped.
Did you see Sonic 3 though?
I saw it. Like it came out early in Australia where there was an advanced screening. I saw it, and I loved it. Yeah,
it's so good.
Loved it.
It's funny because me and my wife, that's one of the movies that we go make sure to see in theaters, because we've seen we just enjoy them. We used to play them on Sega like all the time. So that's one of the things we actually stop and like, we got the babysitter and everything. We're like, we're gonna go see Sonic 3 in theaters, and I loved every second of it. It was amazing.
Oh no, I loved it.
Saying hi to Fan Club. Is RPM the most popular series after NPR? I thought I heard something like that. I think Dino Charges.
I think it's whatever season is you prefer was the popular season.
I mean, honestly, but are we talking? Is it fan critically acclaimed, or is it made the most money? Because made the most money is Super Mega Force.
Super
Mega Force after NPR. Because Melissa will love to tell you how much money they made on Super Mega Force. So yeah, I think I don't know. Dino Fury season 2 was really good. RPM was good, but Dino Fury season 2 like upped it. I think I have to say there was effort put in that.
I was going to make a joke saying that RPM almost ran out of money while filming. So that's when Bandai was like, because if I remember correctly, like Disney had to like borrow money off Bandai, or Bandai had to fund the rest of like RPM.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. That makes sense though. And it was a lot of non-state stuff. It sounds right.
But also if you've heard about RPM, like they let go one of the executive producers halfway through the show, and they brought back Judlin Chip, and then there was a lot of unused storylines that went on board. But yeah,
that's crazy. And then we got Beast Morphers to finish it off, which wasn't bad. The season 2 was not bad too. And I can see where they're going through the growing pains of like Hasbro going on their own though. What if we built the universe by using unadapted Sentai teams as lost powers around the galaxy, like Go Ranger? I see like go Spider-Verse on it. If you're gonna bring in a bunch of different stuff, go Spider-Verse and just say like we got Power Rangers all over. Like they were kind of alluding to that in the 2017 movie. Like there was teams all around the universe. But if you want to do something like that, build up to it and then go multiverse, or like we know there's other teams around the galaxy. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, when they say adapt, do they mean use like footage from Sentai, which is like 30 years old, which is grainy and old? Or do they just mean use the suits? Which using the suits, they can still use them. Like Toei has like those suits in storage that they use for certain things, so they could do that. And then
we can get really nice auction buyers to donate their suits.
Yeah,
like everyone says they should.
Yeah. Did you get anything from the auction?
No, so I actually went in to like, you know, you have to do that pre-authorization thing.
No.
And
I looked, but I didn't touch.
so you had to go in the pre-authorization thing and you had to put in a credit card. And when I had signed up for my account, I had signed up for my account using the Legacy of Nerd PO box. And so my credit card didn't match my PO box, and it said the only way you could fix it is to call them. And I was like, that's my cue not to buy anything. So I was like, that's not going to work. Chrono Ranger, thank you so much. From Unworthy. That's right. Okay. The white Quantum Ranger that we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
If we reboot MPR, then we get the White Ranger. We also get the Die Ranger suits as power-ups for the Dino Rangers. I don't know.
I like the Die Ranger suits, but I don't know.
I don't know if they translate well. I think that's why they didn't. Well, there's different reasons they didn't use it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stories.
Yeah. Ninja Storm and Naruto crossover would be cool. Hey, they just did TMNT and Naruto crossover, so why not?
It's actually pretty good.
I haven't read it. It is. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Omega Ranger Sam O'Neill is Shattered Pass from Nerdbot. There you go. Follow the Boom Studios run if people want an evil Ranger and film adapt Lord Draken. Oh my god, the Lord Draken thing. I
don't think you could do it today.
I don't know.
Because they were meant to do, like, according to Kyle and JDF, they were meant to do there was plans and talks of a coinless, like, spin-off.
Right.
And then when the
shut it down.
Yeah, Hasbro Saban shut it down because that's when the buyout happened and it got swept under all the rug.
So, okay, I guess I'll talk about this as one of those stories. If
you don't think you should talking, then that's okay.
I think someone else has said it before. So, what I was told was that, and it has a lot to do, like we heard the story, like, you know, JDF would say, like, hey, Haim, help me with this. He's like, absolutely. Will you do Forever Red for me? Okay. And then nothing. And then he'd be like, hey, Haim, could you help me with this? And he's like, oh, could you promote Legacy Wars for me? Oh, okay. Or do Ninja Steel for me? So that was one of the things that he did. The Ninja Steel was supposed to be his payment for doing the coinless. Like there's a lot of talk about the Ninja Steel and the Legacy Wars stuff. Like he did that as a favor because Saban was saying, like, yes, we'll do what you want to do. And one of those was the Bat in the Sun project. One of them was the coinless Lord Draken stuff. Like there was different things that, you know, JDF was pitching to him, not just with Aaron, but like, you know, just JDF in general, right? And so that was one of the things that Saban said, yeah, we're gonna do that. And then Saban like literally went like 2 or 3 months later and like announced that he was.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. So like that's a lot of what was like behind the scenes as far as like why JDF was so hurt by the time he got to, you know, towards the end of his life, because and especially there's some stuff that happened with Hasbro too, where you know,
no, if you listen to that I think the interview with Kentucky Jam, where the Master Morpher was like, you can hear JDF's frustration with Hasbro, where they wanted to do a White Ranger morph, and he was like, "No, screw that, let's do the Master Morpher."
Right. I mean, you could tell like his tone, like how he felt about Hasbro in general. And there were some live streams, if you caught, they might still be up on his accounts, but like, you know, before he passed away, where people would ask about him, like, you know, he would always say like, you know, I'm focused on Legend of the White Dragon, but like when people would specifically ask about him going back or something like that, like you could tell like his tone would change.
Yeah. He'd say Tommy is dead.
Rest in peace, Tommy Oliver. He used to say that. Exposition is hated on. We already know how it started. We don't need to see Uncle Ben die again. I agree. I think there's a way to do it really quickly. First 10 minutes of the setup of the movie be similar to Batman v Superman. I agree. I think there's a way. I think that's a good idea. We might just giving them an idea, and they're probably watching us because weird stuff always happens after I could do stuff like this. Might get a Power Rangers in space crossover with Star Trek. Why not?
Who does the Star Trek comics? Is it Boom or is it someone else?
I thought it was that Skybound
who do the Transformers ones.
I think it is. I gotta look it up.
There's been promotional artwork of like Transformers and G.I. Joe and stuff like that, promoting their card game, their RPG.
Well, IDW is coming up first, like immediately. I don't know if that's who has it right now. That's a good question. But as far as comic books, IDW does have a relationship with Boom because they did the Godzilla stuff. So
Yeah,
that's not that. I mean, it could happen, and I can kind of see how it would cross over a little bit. It depends. It would have to be a future team or like Power Rangers go to the future, or Mind Warfare goes to the future or something like that.
Yeah, and IDW did the Ninja Turtles comics as well, which is doing their own reboot.
Okay. New NPR movie idea. Other Rangers kids join the team, like Min, JJ becomes green, son of Jason becomes red, etc.
Like, I get the next Avengers stuff that they could set up, like Young Avengers for Power Rangers, but
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think you would want to rely, like what the Boom is doing right now with Prime. You don't want to rely on past lore and past knowledge to start off a new franchise.
Yeah.
I don't think business wise that would make sense. Power Rangers 2017 suffered from too much exposition and not enough actual Power Rangers. Power Rangering. Goldar, yeah, exactly, man. That's that. I think we agree with you. Black Panther suits in Civil War is a perfect Power Ranger suit. I would say Black Panther suit and Black Panther would work a little bit better as far as like the morphing sequence. I think with the vibranium, was it like liquid vibranium or whatever? Like the nano vibranium was what it was.
Yeah.
I bought all the 2017 toys before the movie even came out and took friends who didn't know anything about the franchise to see it in theaters. I did all I could. Dude, then yeah, you're Power Rangers Jesus then. You did everything. Yeah. Omega Rangers live action series. Oh.
I don't think they could.
Yeah.
There's no twee. No one wants to go near Austin St. John, and Walter's doing whatever Walter does.
He's Waltering.
Yeah, Walter's Waltering.
2017 was a good start. Yeah, but that's all it was a start. Religious Sentai, no. Never go towards religion. And that's why Ghost Sager didn't do that in the American version.
Yeah, that's why they didn't adapt it. I think that's what they were getting at.
Yeah. King-Ohger would make for an awesome Power Ranger season. Is King-Ohger good? Have you seen King-Ohger?
Yeah, King-Ohger is pretty good. It's different with how it's filmed. They use like the Mandalorian screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they use a lot of CGI backgrounds, which does look weird in some places, but King-Ohger does tell a really good serialized story, and it's definitely worth checking out.
And they brought back Dino Charge or the Sentai for that.
Yeah,
right?
because it was their 10-year anniversary.
What is Dino Charge in Sentai? Oh my god, that's gonna bother the crap out of me.
When is their next anniversary?
No, what is the name of it?
Oh, Dino Charge, Kyoryuger. Kyoryuger?
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I like the little dance they do when they morph. I think it's cute. That was my biggest turn off with Samurai. As someone who was into anime, I could follow Samurai. Not sure if I could have if I didn't have that base. Okay. Power Ranger seasons build off of military. Ooh, okay. I don't know if you start off there though.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could see how you go there though. Like, I think the connection with Power Rangers at first is what first made it big was that like it was almost like anyone could be a Power Ranger, right? And I don't know if you would. While military aspect, I think would fit well with some part of it. I don't know if you start there. What do you think?
That might be something they could possibly do, but then again, they're kind of doing in the comics with the VR troopers because they are Peace Corps defenders for Elta.
Right.
But I don't know. It depends like what the military theming is. Is it sort of like old school Sentai, something like that? Or is it like full on like military army? I don't know.
I think you could have a police force.
Yeah, it's a shame that Simon came out and said that wouldn't happen.
But like that wouldn't be your main team.
No.
Right. Like so they would be like this team that exists that shouldn't exist, but there's a police force around. I think there's a way to do that, but I don't think that could be your main team at least at first.
Yeah, I think they could do Blue Pat if they handled it correctly.
Right. As much as I would love that to happen, they couldn't afford them anymore. That's just the reality of it. They could not afford the 2017 cast. They've
Too expensive now.
Too expensive.
They've gone up in price.
I would have to say so. So, I love Sonic 3. Yeah, it was good. We're behind on the comments. The Sonic movies were great. I need to see 3 yet. I'll wait for streaming. I really recommend seeing it in theaters. I thought it's a cinematic experience, especially during the climax. I think it's something to experience in theaters. So it's something to think of. Maybe when it hits the dollar theater, if you have one in your area, that's an idea. RPM low key peak Power Rangers. I think it's a good example of people trying. I think that's what it is. I don't know if it's peak. What would you say?
RPM. I wouldn't call it like peak, but it's a season with good writing and good characters.
Right. I think it's effort, and there's seasons where there's no effort. So, yes, Bandai helped funded RPM. Okay, so you were right. Probably the only way who didn't like RPM. That's okay. I mean, there's people that have very different opinions on different seasons.